currently running late. I'm off to the International Day of Disability Pride March, and I got out of bed very late, and I'm now scrambling to Parliament House so that I can be part of the parade.
My friends, all of us are the stars of our show every day, because we are the experts in our own lives, the experts in the barriers that we face, and the experts, as Peter said, in how to overcome those barriers. And so we are the stars every day for those battles that we fight. But we're also the stars because we find so much pride and so much sense of connection and community and indeed culture in disability. I think it's important to remember that disability is ultimately a community and is ultimately a culture, and one of which I think we should be very proud. And I acknowledge too that, as other speakers have said, you might remember, for those of you who were here earlier, we started off with a chant that was disability, what do we want? Disability rights, when do we want it now? Which was quickly changed to what do we want? Equal rights, when do we want them now? And I think that's an important example, because it's important to remember that disability rights, or the fight for disability specific rights, only exists because of those barriers that are out there in the community, and that ultimately providing equal rights to people with disabilities benefits everyone in our community. But there are many barriers, whether it be inaccessible public buildings. We're walking right outside of a relatively inaccessible building right now. The shops we can't access, the movies, the cinemas, but everything from that to the education system. And these are certainly things that we are battling through our work with the select committee that I've been chairing into the educational experience of students with disabilities, which is about to hand down some very hard-hitting recommendations to government, and we will lobby to make sure that they are not ignored and that they are implemented. Because we need our students with disabilities to be better educated and no longer burdened with low expectations on themselves, which limit their possibilities, not because of their intellectual or physical properties, but because of the burden and the low expectations that are placed on them by others. And that, I think, is a great shame, something we should all be very ashamed of.